Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Fire crews from several areas are trying to put out a fire at a ranch in Canton. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We have a crew on the scene trying to gather as much information as they can for you. This is near Wright Road. We have seen several fire departments on scene over the last few hours. Right now, we're trying to figure out if anybody is hurt and how much damage there is.
As we learn more, stay up to date with our free Fox 61 app. Use the QR code on your screen to download it or go to fox61.com 24/7. All right, time for a first look at the forecast here, and there's some showers possible tomorrow.
Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for a first look at the forecast. Showers, but how cold is it going to be, Rachel?
Not too bad. Temperatures will be in the 50s to near 60 degrees, so we'll be right near, if not slightly above average as we head through the first full week of November. And we do have some showers developing in the afternoon tomorrow, but it depends on where you live, how much you get. Overall, it's very manageable if you have things going on, but you might want to keep the umbrella handy. We have two systems that we're watching, one coming in from the south and then a cold front that will approach from the northwest. So both of these are going to bring us the chance for a couple of those showers. I think we're dry in the morning, but we're seeing a lot of clouds out there. Heading into the afternoon, we'll start to see some of those showers build in. This is 1 p.m. There may be an area of steadier rain, especially for areas south and east of Hartford. Western Connecticut may stay mostly dry through the day on Monday, and then we'll see that front come through in the evening. Following that, it does turn blustery for your election day, but overall nothing that should impede turnout. Overnight lows will be in the 30s as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. And again, tomorrow we're looking at cloudy skies with the chance for scattered showers in the afternoon. Wettest in eastern Connecticut, driest in western Connecticut with highs in the 50s to near 60. We'll take a look at that election day forecast and beyond coming up.
Rachel, thank you. In Yantic, firefighters say a motorcyclist hit a deer. It happened on Cass Street just after 4:30 today. A fire captain lives nearby and went to help. When they arrived, they checked out the motorcyclist. There's no word right now how seriously they were hurt. Firefighters cleaned up the fluid that was in the road. They say the deer died at the scene.
Well, tonight we're getting new reaction after a Halloween shooting in New Haven. So far, we know 4 people were shot. 1 of them died. Today, we talked to Nick James, who lives near Church and Center Streets. He says he heard gunshots break out in the alley early yesterday morning. New Haven police say they found 3 victims when they arrived. One was a 21-year-old man. 2 others were 18-year-old women. 1 woman died. A second 21-year-old man showed up at Yale New Haven Hospital who said he was also shot. His injuries were not life-threatening. James says there have been fights before in the alley, but nothing like this.
I was sitting in my bed, chilling out, vaping on my vape, and I heard 6 gunshots. I looked right out my window, and there's people scattering all over the place right here in that parking lot.
And so what was going through your head when that happened?
I was confused. I didn't know what the heck it was. I talked to my roommate in the next room. He said it was gunshots.
New Haven police say the victims did not appear to be intended targets of the gunshots, but this is still a developing situation. Anyone with information should contact police.
And 7 people were taken to the hospital after carbon monoxide was found inside their home. It happened in Naugatuck late last night. Firefighters responded around 11:30 p.m. after a call came in that a 5-year-old was having trouble breathing. Officers and firefighters got everyone out of the building and took 7 people to the hospital to get checked out. Firefighters detected CO levels of more than 500 parts per million inside the home, and they say anything over 8 ppm is considered unsafe in a living area. The Naugatuck Fire Department says this is a good reminder to take preventative measures to make sure you and your family are safe. They say you should install CO detectors in key areas of your home and replace batteries regularly. Ensure furnaces, boilers, water heaters, and other fuel-burning appliances are routinely inspected and properly vented. Evacuate immediately and call 911 if you suspect CO exposure. You want to look for symptoms like headache, dizziness, confusion, nausea, and shortness of breath.
Well, people in one Southington neighborhood are without water because of a water main break. This happened this afternoon on Aircraft Road near Newell Street. Southington Water Works says people who live at the end of Aircraft Road do not have water while they make those repairs. Police say crews are still out there right now. They hope to have things fixed and wrapped up in the next couple of hours. The two 140-foot barges that washed up on Woodmont Beach Thursday have now been towed away. Both barges broke free from their moorings, likely because of the strong winds we saw Thursday. They then drifted 5 miles and went ashore. Well, this morning, the Coast Guard learned both barges were towed away around 7 in the morning. They're both headed to a shipyard to check for damage and make repairs.
Well, early voting is now over here in Connecticut. Nearly 16,000 people voted yesterday, which brings the numbers of early voters to more than 170,000 people. But that does not include anyone who voted early today. We'll learn those numbers tomorrow. The towns with the most early votes, Stratford, Milford, and Greenwich. People are also able to return absentee ballots. So far, more than 20,000 absentee ballots have been returned. Just 2 days from the election, candidates are making their final push to voters across the state. Fox 61's Tim Latow takes us to Hamden to get to know the candidates who are running for mayor.
Hamden's Miller Library has become one of the loudest places in town with a 4-way mayoral race. There are dozens of political signs, and volunteers have planted themselves here to greet voters. And for the first time, whoever voters elect will serve 4 years instead of 2.
That was me realizing that we can't keep going in the same directions with the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're just playing ball back and forth, back and forth.
Patricia Venner Saavedra enters the Hamden mayoral race as a Green Party candidate who wants to give voters more options. And so does unaffiliated candidate Jamaica Jeffries, a real estate broker who wants to get financial issues under control and be transparent about it.
The reason why I'm running was for the people and to make sure that I interact with them and let them know that transparency and responsibility and accountability is what my campaign and my administration has been built on.
According to the town, Hamden has more than $330 million of outstanding debt. Republican candidate Jonathan Katz is the youngest candidate at 24 years old, but believes his education in economics and law gives him the right background to bring more transparency and financial stability to Hamden. He plans on growing the financial department and conducting a forensic audit if elected.
It's an additional audit in comparison to our yearly audit, and it takes a deeper dive into the town's finances and its financial history to uncover really all of the issues that are affecting our town.
Adam Sendroff won the Democratic primary, and with 2 decades of experience in international business and another 2 decades in Hamden's municipal departments and boards, he'll prioritize making the town more affordable.
Property taxes are really extremely high. That's the number one thing I'd like to try to tackle. I have a 5-point plan to try to deal with that. It's a multifaceted problem and it needs a multifaceted approach.
At the top of the agenda for Venner Saavedra is the Newhall Neighborhood Foundation's crisis, which has damaged homes after decades of industrial waste disposal. She's frustrated current leaders haven't done more.
They've got to stop using it for political reasons. Those people need their homes. Some of them are going to be unreclaimable. Those people need to be remunerated somehow for suffering all of this.
The winner will replace current mayor Lauren Garrett, who ended her campaign for a 3rd term in July so she could spend more time with her family and prioritize her well-being. Now the next mayor will serve 4 years instead of 2, a first for the town that doesn't faze the young Republican Katz.
I see my age as an advantage. I really see myself as bringing a fresh perspective, new energy, and what is really a total disconnect from the politics of our past.
Democratic Sendroff also wants to move on from past government leaders he felt could have done better by residents.
I want to make sure that every current and future generation living in Hamden has the same opportunities and is not driven away by high property taxes or feel left behind by government.
Even though 4 candidates are vying for the mayor's office, the unaffiliated Jeffries is feeling confident with just a few hours to go in the race.
Just judging by the amount of people that have come out, I mean, because we've been here every single day, we have a good gauge as to how well we're doing, and I would say we look like we're going to take this home.
More than 3,000 people in Hamden have already cast their ballots. The next chance to vote is on Tuesday. Polls across the state will be open from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. In Hamden, Tim Latow, Fox 61.
The two Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Council candidates were elected to new 3-year terms today. Incumbent Treasurer Mayoral M. Reels and Rahim Eliezer will begin their new terms on January 2nd. After the election, the tribe held its annual meeting and thanked Reels and Eliezer for their willingness to serve. The Tribal Council includes 7 members and oversees several businesses, including Foxwoods Resort Casino, the Mashantucket Pequot Museum and Research Center, and Pequot Healthcare.
Well, tomorrow, 2 federal judges have set separate deadlines over funds for federal food aid. On Friday, both judges decided the Trump administration must keep paying for SNAP during the government shutdown with emergency reserve funds. But both judges gave the administration leeway on funding the program partially or in full for this month. They both asked for an update on progress to fund the program by tomorrow. Connecticut chefs cooked up a feast today to serve empty stomachs and collect food donations during the government shutdown. More than 10 local chefs and community leaders passed out homemade plates for free. They also took donations for federal workers impacted by the government shutdown. Chef Lillard Lewis, who served in the Army, now serves dishes for Hartford locals. He says he wants the country to feel like the America he remembers.
They're attempting to starve us out of our Americanism, right? This doesn't feel American. It doesn't feel like the neighborhood I grew up in. It doesn't feel like the country I served.
The chefs want to host another cookout next weekend in downtown Windsor. We'll share those details with you as soon as we learn more.